Hello everybody, it's Elena, and in today's video we are building these 3 very tiny rustic homes that we are building in the world of Brindleton Bay in The Sims 4, obviously. So we are building them on a 20 by 15 lot in the area which I believe is called Whiskerman's Wharf, and as I said, they are built on a 20 by 15 lot, which is the smallest lot type that we have in the game, and we've got 3 houses on here, so I suppose you can imagine solely based on that how small these houses are gonna end up being. There's really not a lot of room in each of them. They are super tiny and very cute and cozy in my opinion, and also I did not have a lot of room left on the lot to do anything but the houses. Like, there's not really a lot of landscaping going on, which I do think is fitting because this is a pier of sorts, so it doesn't really make any sense to have a bunch of landscaping going on, so you know, it worked out perfectly in that way. But yeah, they do all have their own little individual backyards behind the homes, obviously, but they are super tiny. But it is like nice to have your own little outdoor area attached to your house, so I figured that would be nice for these houses. But I was picturing that all of the people that live in these 3 houses are fishermen to some extent, so like I was picturing that they either do fishing as their full-time job and that's like how they make their living, or maybe they do it as a side hustle and they have another job that they support themselves off of, or maybe they just like fish as their hobby or something. But I was imagining that they are fishermen to some extent, and that is why they want to live here. I'm just imagining that those are the types of people that these kind of houses would attract, because they are super rustic and they lend themselves very well to fishing, because you are right on the water and there are a lot of fishing spots around here. So that was just what I was picturing, and I did also come up with a little story for these Sims that I was picturing living in the house that I decorated today. So in this video we are going to be decorating the home to the right, and all of these houses are completely identical on the inside, so they have the exact same shape and size and also floor plan, and they each have 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. So as I said, super small, not really a lot of room in there. But in my house, the one that I decorated, I pictured there being 2 Sims and like 1 or more dogs living in there, like maybe 2, 3 even, I don't know. But I just wanted these people to have a bunch of dogs, or at least, you know, some amount of dogs, because I just kind of imagined that they like dogs, and this is the world that we got with cats and dogs, so it would only be fitting if they had some sort of pet. And I was just kind of imagining that the dog/dogs would be one of the people's companions, and they would always go fishing with them or something like that. I don't know. That was just what I imagined, so I put the essentials for dogs in that home. And so the little story that I have for that house, or the Sims that live in there, is that there's 1 grown-up Sim and then there's 1 infant Sim living in the home. But as I said, there's only 1 bedroom in it, so the 2 Sims are sharing a bedroom, like the infant and the parent, which is not really like the most ideal situation, especially as the kid gets older, because they won't be able to have their own private bedroom in this house. It's so tiny. So that the reason why they are living here is because the person, the grown-up who's living there, I imagine that it's a man, and at some point he was like seeing this woman and she unexpectedly got pregnant, which was not really a part of his plan to become a father at this point in his life. But him and the mother of the child decided that the mother would carry this baby to term, and they would just like do co-parenting or something, and they would work things out amongst themselves, and they would just be a happy little family or something. But then tragically the mom ended up leaving planet Earth. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. But yeah, the mom passed away, which is really, really sad. So she left behind this little kid. I don't know when she passed away, if it was like during childbirth or something. That's so tragic. I don't want to think about that. But she did pass away very, very early on in this little baby's life. So this dad was just like left all alone with this baby. And I'm kind of imagining that he's a very quiet person who has a tough and very cold exterior, so he doesn't really have a lot of people around him, and the only one he really confided in and the only person he really trusted and had a close relationship with was this woman. But of course she's not here anymore, so he doesn't really have anybody around him, and it's just a really sad and very tough situation for them. And I imagine that right when it happened, and for like some months after whatever happened to this woman happened, he was very far down and not doing good. He was not coping well with it, which, you know, is to be expected after such a tragic thing. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like you can't really expect people to just deal with it really easily right as it happens. But now he's had some time to sort of process all of it, and he has, you know, really come to his senses again, and now he has just decided that he wants to do everything he can for this kid, and he wants to give the baby the best life that he possibly can. So he has just really been motivated now to like get out and work as hard as he can to someday be able to get a bigger and better house for the two of them. And maybe he has like started engaging in like single parent support groups, and he might meet some great supportive and kind of people that way, and you know, just be happy and less alone and whatnot. Yeah, that was just what I imagined. So it's a very sad story, but also I think they might end up having a really good life, the two of them. That's what I hope for them, okay? So that was just what I was imagining while I built this house. I don't know. I was a bit sad while I built it, so I think that's why I ended up coming up with a very sad story for it. So, yeah, anyway, it's fine, totally fine. But yeah, I think that's fun, and, well, it's not fun, it's a really bad and sad story. But, like, I think the two of them are gonna end up being good, so it's gonna be a nice, feel-good story, and I feel like this is just a very, like, movie-esque story for people to have. Maybe, I don't know, it's like a thing you would see in a very feely, sappy, sad, but also happy and feel-good-ish movie. Maybe. You know? Yeah, and maybe he's gonna meet someone great, and it's gonna turn into like a rom-com of sorts, and they are just gonna live happily ever after, and he's gonna have a nice family with other people as well. I don't know, but that's just what I was imagining. So yay, it's good stuff, maybe. What am I saying? I really do not know. But yeah, I just like decorated the house in a very like cozy way in my opinion, but it's very homey and lived in, and he is not really a person who cares much for aesthetics and whatnot, so he has just decorated the house with fish that he has caught, is what I was imagining, like those wall-mounted fish that we have in the game, and he's done that, and he's just like got some things that he likes around the house, and that's really all. I don't know, it's just a very homey and kind of messy and probably super realistic way that I decorated the house, I would say, and I liked it. I do like it. I don't think it's pretty in any way, but that was not what I was going for. And of course these houses are pretty like rustic, and aesthetics are not really the most important thing here for the people that live in them, and I imagine that they are not super expensive. And also, I did not even plan for this to happen, but the house did end up being a starter home technically, because it cost less than 20,000 simoleons. I think it ended up at 18,200 simoleons, so if you move into it with just one sim, you're gonna have around 1,800 simoleons left. That's a lot, so that's really great. You can move into it straight away without using any cheats if you would like to do that. And then of course the other two houses are almost empty except for the bathroom, so you can move into those houses for not a lot of money. I did not really check how much they cost, but it cannot be a lot. So yeah, that's really cool. Anyway, I do believe that's all I have to say about the build, at least for now it is. So I hope you guys are all doing good, and I hope that life is treating you well, and I hope that everything in your life is moving in the right direction. Yeah, I guess that's really all you can hope for, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. But yeah, I hope everything is going well for you all. Personally, in my life, things have been not super great lately. I've just had a lot of like not good things going on lately, and I will unfortunately be attending a funeral in just a few days, so that's just been, you know, really tough to deal with, the loss of someone close to me. That's just not fun at all ever, of course. And I'm gonna be traveling to my grandparents' house for a few days so I can attend the funeral there. My grandparents are fine. It's just that they live around 4 hours away from us, and that's where my dad grew up. So we have a lot of like family members and also like really dear family friends living over there. So we know a lot of people, and for that reason, I'm gonna go stay at my grandparents' house while I do all of that. But yeah, it's just been tough lately. It's just been making me think about a lot of different things, and it's just made me appreciate what I have even more than I normally do. You guys know how it is, right? So that's just been tough and whatnot, and it's obviously never fun to lose someone who's dear to you, especially not when that person is gone way too early. That's just not good at all. I hate cancer so much. It's a horrible freaking disease. It's so bad. So yeah, that's just been a little bit sad, I guess. And basically, a thing that I just want to say is that it's very important that we all remember to tell our loved ones that we love them, and it's important to spend time with them and appreciate them while we have them, because we never really know when we can't anymore, which is very, very sad and not fun to hear, but it's true. So yeah, not great. And I mean, I don't really know a lot of stuff in life, but one thing that I do know for sure is that we are never gonna regret spending time with those we love. So we should just do that as often as we can, and we should prioritize it. But yeah, no more about that. I don't want to make this a very like sad thing, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update about like me and my life, and tell you what's going on here. Yeah. So let's just do like a complete 180 on the topic and not talk about sad stuff anymore, because that's no fun at all. I don't really have anything super interesting to tell you about my life, because I don't really have like anything super interesting going on in my life right now. However, the other day I was in like the city center, and I went into this hardware store, but like a small hardware store because it's in the middle of the city, and I was just looking at some plants and looking at some of their like gardening stuff and whatever, because I just enjoy looking at that sort of stuff. I didn't have a specific errand in mind to go into the hardware store for. I just went in there because why not, right? And then on the way out, I saw someone who I kind of thought that I recognized, and I was like, who is that person? You know how like sometimes when you're outside or just watching TV or something, you see a face and you kind of feel like you recognize it, but it takes you a few seconds to place the person. So I was like probably staring at her for an uncomfortable amount of time. I don't know. I just like stared at her, right? And then I realized that this was the prime minister of my country. And she was just like walking around this hardware store. So I was like, oh my god, that's so weird. So yeah, the most interesting thing that has happened to me in a while is that I ran into the prime minister at a hardware store the other day. I don't know, I just like thought that was fun. And also I think it's kind of nice that the most powerful woman in the country can just walk around a hardware store and be sort of normal. Like, she did have 2 bodyguards around her because sadly that's just kind of necessary, but yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's just nice that she's able to go around and just be semi-normal. Of course, it's not normal to have 2 bodyguards around you, but it's normal to be in a hardware store. And yeah, she was just buying some wrapping paper. Maybe that's just something she was getting for like her kid or something, like someone whose birthday is coming up. I just thought that was kind of like nice and normal, and I like the fact that it's possible for her to just walk around and be semi-normal. I don't know. But I was in the store with my parents, and when I noticed her, when I had like finally noticed who it was after I, had looked at her for a few seconds, I was like, Mom, look at her! I was like whispering because I didn't want her to hear it, but I wanted my parents to realize who it was, because it was just like crazy to me. I was like, what the heck, I was really confused because I was just not expecting to see her walking around this random store on a Sunday, Yeah, so that was just weird. I don't really know. I'm not bringing this up to make like a political statement or anything, by the way. I just wanted to say that I thought it was interesting. Yeah. All I'm trying to say is that I thought it was just like a fun thing and a fun experience, and also very surprising to just like run into the most powerful person in the country just then and there on a random Sunday while I was just in some store looking at plants, and she was buying gift wrapping paper. Yeah. I thought that was fun. I mean, of course she was, you know, right there with her 2 armed men around her, which was very not normal, but I do think it's great that she's able to just be around regular people like civilians and whatnot. The bodyguards were also dressed in civilian clothing, so they blended in somewhat nicely, and it was like very discreet, but I mean, I know that they were carrying weapons under their coats because unfortunately that's just necessary, you know, so that's really sad, but I do think it's good that she can just go outside and be semi-normal for a few hours at a time, maybe. I don't know how her life is, but I think that everybody deserves to do that sometimes, no matter who you are. I have actually seen her before. I ran into her at the airport one time, but that was a long time ago, like way before she was elected, so she was just like a random politician at that point and not the prime minister. But yeah, I have seen her twice, which is kind of weird because I don't think I've ever really seen any celebrity just like out in the wild, but I have seen the prime minister twice, so yeah, I don't know, it's a small country. That just happens sometimes, I suppose. Also, I'm really sorry if you can hear an annoying buzzing sound in the background. Someone is cooking downstairs and my bedroom is right above the kitchen, so what you might be able to hear is the range hood. So that's pretty annoying, and I try to not record when that's on, but I was recording and then it turned on, so you know, I just really want to finish this video. Anyway though, thank you also so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed already and you enjoy my content. I would really appreciate that. And of course you can download these houses on my gallery page. My ID on there is LacyLena, exactly like my YouTube channel. But yeah, besides all of that, I hope you're having an amazing day, and then I cannot wait to see you all in my next video that I will be posting in just a few days. So bye everybody.